Hey everybody, hello and welcome back to my channel, Without Limits. In this video, I'm going to share with you my foam rolling routine. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. I just want to say that I'm so excited to finally be filming a video in my office, and once it's finally done, whenever the couch arrives, all of my videos will be in here, and I'm just so excited because it's a little bit quieter than the room. Anyway, this video is going to be my foam rolling routine. It's what I like to do, but I'm also going to throw in different tips and just little bits of advice that I've picked up from practicing foam rolling and doing it over the years in order to tailor it best for your body, because what I need more focus on, you may not need more focus on. What feels great for me, you might need to ease up on the pressure in order to ease into it. But foam rolling is fantastic. It's so good for muscle recovery and performance and helping get your body back into good shape, especially after heavier resistance training, which is what I love to do. It's also really good to just release a lot of knots and tension that you may have. I especially get a lot of knots in my upper back, mainly from a really bad posture that I have been working on actively, especially with yoga, which is also where I've gotten a bit more of my foam rolling technique from. And then also just from myofascial release, which is really good to just help you feel relaxed and again, recover and just feel better overall. Your body, head to toe, organs, bones, joints, everything is covered with this like really thin connective tissue called the fascia. That's a lot of what becomes super knotted, and if it's tight in one area, it's gonna pull on you in another area. Everything's connected, and by releasing that, you can get a nice full body feeling. So this is gonna be a full body foam roll, but again, if one area needs a bit more attention, or if you just worked out legs and you don't want to do a full body foam roll, you just kind of want to foam roll out your legs, then easily just focus on that. Focus on what you need to focus on, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of everything for this. Before we get down to the ground and start rolling, I just wanted to share what rollers I'll be using, but I highly recommend going to like a Target or a sports store or Walmart, whatever's really around you that would have foam rollers, and look at them for yourselves, just because buying things on Amazon, you don't always know what you're getting in terms of toughness of the rollers. This one I will link down below, and it's foamy, but it's a pretty dense foam, and this one's for your feet. There aren't too many options when it comes to foot rollers, but I like this for my feet and my calves. And where you will want to kind of test it out for yourself is for the body rollers. So this is the one that Austin had before we moved in together, and I had one that was a lot of, it's like a lighter dense foam, and after a while I just wasn't really getting anything out of that, so I did give it to a friend. This one's pretty dense, and it also has the plastic underneath it too, so it's not like you're getting all foam, like it's pretty sturdy. They also sell longer ones, which I am interested in getting, mainly for yoga. Sometimes the yoga video will include the longer, slightly skinnier foam rollers, which I think would be super beneficial. I'll also show you how you can use the foam roller and use your body in order to apply more pressure just with your body. That way you can get more pressure and more out of the foam rolling, or you can ease off if it's starting to hurt and you just need to take it a little bit lighter. You're working on recovery, or you strained something, you just need to take it pretty light. So definitely check out foam rollers for yourself. Now, as a general rule, when foam rolling or really doing any workout, you don't want to go too hard to a point where it's almost painful. If you have a knot that you really need to work out, never go to like 100%, because it could just end up hurting or like feeling more sore afterwards. Definitely back off a little bit, and you can always go back and foam roll it later or tomorrow and just work on it over time, instead of being like, I need to get this out right now. Like, take it easy, allow your body to relax and ease into it. Like, if you just force something into it, it's just gonna hurt even more later. So work your way into it, and then things will just get better over time. So for the foam rolling itself, I like to work from the bottom up, just because then you can work out on your feet, and your feet are like super important for all of your body and all of your connective tissue, all of the fascia, and just feeling good from the start. Also, so many like pressure points, so really working out your feet is super important. And with foam rolling, with any body part that you're working on, just go back and forth a few times, and if you find a pressure point, something that you really want to work on, you can just kind of hold, breathe into it. It's super important to breathe into it. Don't just like hold your breath and hold tension. You want to be able to breathe and allow your body to relax into that spot. That way you're getting the best benefit from foam rolling. You're not just like doing it to do it, you're actually getting something out of it. So breathing, and then just if there is that spot, you can either hold steady on it, or you can do little tiny rocking back and forth to kind of rock whatever knot is that there may be. Let's get with feet. Super important again, because of the pressure points, we're on them all the time. I like using this even if I'm sitting at a desk and just didn't foam roll for the day. I'm sitting at my desk and just rolling my feet on it a little bit. It's also really, really good if you do it before bed. Massaging or rolling your feet is really good for your lymphatic system, which is basically what flushes your brain clean and make sure that there's no gunk in there while you're sleeping. So by massaging your feet, you're cleaning out so much of your body, which is so important. This one you can do sitting down if you're on a chair, but again, going back to that pressure by adding more body weight onto it. If you really need to add more pressure to this, you can do so standing up, and I just recommend holding onto a wall or the edge of something. That way you don't lose your balance. Set it down and roll it out. You really want to go from the end of your heel up to right under, like right around the ball of your foot. You can even, since this has some grooves, you can go a little sideways, get a little bit of this side, the exterior, but where I really feel it is right in the center. And this is also really good for me because I do have an ankle injury on this side just from snowboarding, having a nice little sprain there. So by doing this, I'm also releasing just all the tension that's in that area, and it helps my ankles feel better. Especially if I know that I'm going to be going on a hike soon or doing some activity soon. I want to make sure that my feet are in really good condition. That way my ankles and my knees don't flare up. So right here, I feel something, so I'm just gonna hold it, do like a little rock back and forth, hold it for up to 30 seconds. And also what's crazy about the fascia is just the way that everything is connected. So if you've ever had your feet rubbed and then something in your thigh hurts, or you have a knot in your back that's getting rubbed out and something in your stomach hurts, it's because that is all connected. So by working out your whole fascia, having it all feel good, then every part of your body's feeling good, especially again the feet, because it is where just so many things end, all the nerve endings end, and it really has a lot of pressure points as well. And then just repeating on the other side. You don't have to do it for the exact same amount of time, in the same way that when you're working out two different sides, you want to make sure you have the same amount of reps just so it's even. When it comes to this, like my right foot just feels so much better already. It doesn't have the amount of tension that is at the bottom of my left foot, so I don't need to roll it out as much. I'm just gonna go over it a few times. And now I'm going to go to my calves. For your calves, you don't wanna go into this area, especially as we get to the thigh too. You don't wanna really go behind the knee, just because that is such a tender spot. So if you have knee issues or not, just highly don't recommend that, especially when we do the IT band. Really don't go here, just because this isn't any muscle really. This is just like joints and ligaments. We're rolling out the muscle, and by rolling out the muscle, it will help the joints and the ligaments, but you don't want to roll over that and apply a bunch of pressure to that, because it will hurt. For your calf, you can just start it up at the top, right at the top of your calf here. Again, we're rolling out the muscle. Have your hands set behind you and just roll back. Back and forth. Go a little to the side, hit the side of your calf if you need to. The other side. And again, you're gonna stop right before hitting the ankle. And for me, this is enough pressure with having my hands on the ground and my other foot. But if it wasn't a lot, you could easily cross your ankles, but doing so puts too much weight on this for me. So I'm gonna do foot down, which is probably where most people will be, unless this is something you do a lot or you have a super light density roller that you're using. All right, and just the same to the other side. And you don't wanna go fast through this. This is something that you definitely wanna take your time with doing. This isn't a workout that you wanna rush through at all. Really no workout is something that you wanna rush through. Don't forget to breathe. Holding your breath will just hold in more tension and you won't feel the benefits. Like I feel right here. Do a little back and forth. A little bit this way. And now we will be moving on to this one for everything else. So I'm gonna start off with hamstrings, avoiding the back of your knee, If you need to, put your other foot down. If you really want to get another workout, you can cross them, but foot down to start. Lifting yourself up and rolling it out. And you're gonna go right to under your butt. I'm feeling a little bit here. Again, not going to my knee, but right at the end of my hamstring there, I feel a bit of it. Now I'm going to go to the IT band. We're gonna go from right here up until, again, not the knee, right where your quad ends. For this, you're gonna get on it on the side here. You're gonna cross this other foot in front as you're to steady yourself. Ooh, and roll back and forth. Ooh, and I feel it right here. Just kind of holding for a second. You can have this leg up, like I'm showing here, and if it's too much pressure, put your foot down. So for right here, this with my foot up feels fantastic. It like hurts in a really good way, but it also like is maybe a little bit too much. So I'm just going to rest that foot, and I'm still feeling a lot of the pressure, but I'm able to breathe into it because yes, while the pain of having more pressure feels really good and you think, yes, I'm doing it right, I can also feel that I'm tensing up and not breathing. And again, you want to breathe. So if that means backing off, then back off. And then roll it out to the other side. And that felt good, but it didn't have any tense spots like how I did right here. Breathe into it, and I can work on it again tomorrow. And by doing that, I will be helping those muscles recover. I've definitely noticed if I don't foam roll super consistently and I go and do deadlifts at the gym, then definitely my left leg will feel a lot tighter than my right. A massage therapist told me that without knowing, I could easily just be sitting off to one side when I sit down. And because of that, it's shortening these muscles in comparison to my right leg. So that's just needs a bit more loosening. That way they can work evenly and together. So now that we did your hamstrings, the IT band, we move to the top and do our thighs or quads. You're gonna have it set up again, right at underneath your hips on your thigh. And you're gonna kind of like army crawl it almost. And for more pressure, lift the other one up. If you don't need more pressure, then you can have both feet down. And when doing this, you also do want to have a strong core. Don't do this because that's just putting a lot of weight and pressure on your lower back. Don't want this posture ever. Definitely hold yourself up. Don't just flop in other body parts when you're working on one. So just because I'm focusing on my thigh doesn't mean I can give up everywhere else. Still need to be in good form. We're just moving to my other one. If you want to, you can even put the knee down if that helps you. In the last part of our legs, we did the front of our thighs, the side, the back, and now we have our inner thigh. So this one's gonna look a little bit funny, but bear with me. It'll feel nice, especially if you do feel a lot of tightness in this area. Setting it, it's right here, and I'm just rocking side to side on it. Again, being sure to not get right at my knee. Forearms down, drop the other hip, do like a 4-ish. I guess my body's a 4. And just kind of roll it back and forth. Again, making sure to not just give up everywhere else on your body. Like, this isn't gonna do much. But holding your body and being a bit more intentional and mindful about it. And that's what's great about all workouts that I've found, is that even if you don't think you're like a mindful or present person, like when you're working out and when you're like working out correctly and focusing on your body and your form, you are being present. Now I'm going to move on to my butt. So I'm not going to the lower back because you don't want to like hurt yourself at all. I'm gonna sit on it and we're just gonna go right over the butt muscle. We're focusing on the muscle, not the bone. Right here, getting a little too high, feel it on the bone. You're just working your butt. And even if one side needs a bit more work than the other, do a little cross. By crossing, you're also putting more weight and more pressure since you're removing a foot. While working on the butt, if you want to focus a bit more on the outside of your butt, again, focusing on the muscle, not on the bones, like right here, you'll know when you're not foam rolling a muscly part because it'll just feel weird. Like if you go too high up, it just doesn't feel right. And you know, stop, don't roll that high. But if you do want to focus on a bit more of your side butt, kind of center that cheek onto the roller, cross your legs, and do a little twist almost. So now instead of the center of my butt, I am getting right here. And again, not going too high, like We're just going to right here. Just kind of getting the side here. We're back for the upper back. You don't want to work out the lower back. You don't want to roll the lower back. For your upper back, that starts even mid back, so kind of right underneath, right where your bra line would be if you're a dude and you don't wear a bra, right under your chesticles. And again, we don't want to just like slouch into it. We want to keep steady here as we go up. The best way to do it is to put your hands behind your head and then just kind of go back and forth. And this, use your feet to crawl. Hold. And then if you really need more work in a certain spot, release your hands and cross them like you're giving yourself the biggest hug you ever have. And you can kind of do a little twist here. Again, we're not just letting our butts drop. This is gonna put a lot of strain on our lower backs, which you will start to feel, but keeping your butt up, keeping all of this nice and steady, even though you think like, oh, I have to keep my core steady, like it will make such a huge difference. Crossing this, doing a little work here. Because when you cross your arms like this, you're really getting underneath your shoulder blade, which I think feels so good. Doing a little bit on this side. Again, I'm just twisting a little bit. Again, putting hands behind your head. You can even bring your elbows forward if you want to get underneath your shoulder blades. Stopping if you need to. You can rest your head back a little bit. Here in my upper back, underneath both shoulder blades. Feel it. And just slowly rolling it out after. Could easily do it for hours, but I know that instead of foam rolling for hours, which would take up hours of my day, do a little bit at a time, can slowly go a little bit more or take a little bit off of the pressure depending on what I need. And as you do it more consistently, you won't need to do it as often because again, you'll be working out your whole body. Your whole body will feel really good. And it's also in doing so you realize like, okay, like maybe I do just need to work on my posture more. And as I have strengthened my posture, done more yoga, I do feel that I don't have as many knots that I need to roll out all the time. Like if I sleep a little funny or I'm on a plane or in a car for a while, definitely like will feel it in my shoulders a bit. But I just think over time, like this definitely gets you really in tune with your body and where you need to work on it. And again, highly recommend yoga if something with posture like is where you want to focus on. Just doing that, especially even in the last like few months, as I do more and do like the more challenging classes and get into like the more little nuanced things, it's definitely helped. So if you do also have a lot of upper back pain, which is so common, especially as we're always on our phones like this, or even like I'm at my desk. I have an ergonomic chair, but sometimes I still find myself like this editing a video, which I'm like, why? Like, I literally bought a desk riser so I don't sit like this. I finally have a desk and a desk chair. I'm not sitting at the foot of my bed. So by being more mindful, thinking like, okay, working on my posture, yes, it's gonna hurt a bit. When I was little, my mom would always push my back and say, work on your posture. And I'd be like, Mom, it hurts. She'd be like, it hurts because you don't have the muscles to hold yourself upright. So by just working on those muscles in ways and just releasing it, it will improve over time. There is one more spot that we get to do, and this one will also feel really good. For this one, we're gonna do the lats. So the side here, don't wanna go too low, won't feel great. Don't wanna go too high up in the pit, just won't feel great either. I have this hip up, that way I can kind of move a little bit better, but I'm just kind of rolling here. Going right here, and you can even tilt back a little bit more if you need to. If you want to take the pressure off, you can put your elbow down, because now you have weight here, so it's taking a lot of the pressure and weight off of here. Move forward if you need to. I know it feels good because it really loosens up some tight muscles that I have. So it's important. I just have to definitely take a few steps back. And just kind of rock back and forth. And I'm just kind of like letting my head dangle, so you can see I don't want to hold my head up too high and cause a lot of tension here, but don't. I'm just kind of like letting it hang back. I'm gonna rock back and forth a little bit, right under the pit. And I'm just gonna set my whole body down to release the pressure and rock a bit. Something that you could do if you had one of the longer ones is go sideways. And it's really good if you want to kind of, you know, roll this way. However, if you do have a short one, I don't like it because, as you can see, it's digging into my lower back. And by doing so, I'm having my butt down. Not great for the lower back. You'd want to have a long one that could go under your butt right to your tailbone, that your butt could be up. All this can be nice and stable. You're not hurting your lower back. And it would also be long enough that I could rest my head on it, at least like the base of my head, and be able to do so comfortably. I can kind of do this, but as you can see, it's a little bit wobbly since it's just not getting a lot. But if you have a longer one, this is a really great one to do it with your back as well. Well, there you have it. That is my foam rolling routine, plus a few tips and ways that you can make it your own, because again, all of our bodies are different, so do what works best for you. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you love to do for recovery and what you want to see more of on my channel. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every Wednesday. So until the next one, thanks for watching.